Welcome to Sera's Voice, a quiet place for tired hearts and lonely nights. Sometimes, late at night, when the world finally becomes quiet, we start thinking about the people who used to mean everything to us. Not the people who hurt us, not the people who betrayed us, but the people we loved, and somehow still lost. Some stories don't end with anger. They don't end with hate. They end with silence. With two people slowly walking away from the same dream. People often say that if two hearts truly belong together, nothing can pull them apart. But real life is not a movie. Real life is quiet. Real life is slow. And sometimes, real life is cruel in ways we don't even notice until it's too late. Tonight, on Sera's Voice, I want to tell you a story. A story about love, about waiting, about two people who tried their best, and still couldn't stay together. Maybe, somewhere in this story, you will see a little bit of yourself. And maybe, that's why it hurts. I used to think that if two people truly loved each other, they would always find a way to stay. I really believed that, because it was what I felt with him. And maybe that's why it hurt so much when I finally understood that love is not always enough. I met him in a very ordinary way. No fireworks. No dramatic moment. Just two tired people sitting in the same small cafe, trying to escape the rain. He smiled at me and asked, "Is this seat taken?" And somehow that simple question changed my life. We didn't fall in love quickly. We became friends first. We talked about stupid things. About childhood memories. About dreams that sounded too big for people like us. And one day, without realizing when, he became the person I wanted to tell everything to. When I was sad, he listened. When I was tired, he stayed. He didn't try to fix me. He just stayed. And that was enough. We used to walk home together in the evenings. The streets were always noisy. Cars, people, life. But with him everything felt quiet. Safe. Like the world was finally not in such a hurry. We didn't have much, but we had plans. We talked about a small apartment, a simple life, maybe a cat. We talked about growing old. And back then I really believed we would. But life has a strange way of pulling people apart without asking for permission. He got an opportunity. A very good one. In another city. The kind of opportunity that only comes once in a lifetime. He was excited. And I smiled and said, "I'm happy for you." And I meant it. But a part of my heart was already afraid. I couldn't go with him. My mother was sick. My job was here. My whole life was here. And his future was suddenly somewhere else. We promised each other it was just for a while. That we could do long distance. That we were strong enough. I believed that. I really did. At first we called every night. Sometimes we didn't even talk. We just stayed on the line, listening to each other breathe. Even silence felt warm. But slowly his world became bigger. Mine stayed the same. He met new people, learned new things, lived a new life. And I was still here, waiting. I started to notice small changes. He replied slower. He sounded more tired. Sometimes distracted. And I told myself he was just busy. I kept telling myself that. But one night I asked him, "Do you still miss me?" He paused. Just for a second. But that second broke something inside me. He said, "Of course I do." But his voice didn't sound like before. That was when I realized that sometimes people don't stop loving you. They just stop living in the same world as you. We started to argue. Not about big things. About small things. About calls. About time. About effort. About things that shouldn't matter but somehow did. I felt lonely. Even though I wasn't alone. And that kind of loneliness is the worst. One day he came back to visit. I was so nervous. I chose my clothes carefully. I cleaned my room. I practiced what I wanted to say. But when I saw him standing there, smiling, I suddenly didn't know what to say. He looked the same. But he also didn't. We walked together like we used to. Same streets. Same places. But something was missing. The silence between us was no longer comfortable. That night we talked. Not about the future. Not about plans. But about us. He said. I feel like I'm changing, I said. I know. And that was the saddest part. He said. I still love you. And I believed him. I really did. But he also said, I don't know if that's enough anymore. I didn't cry. Not yet. I just felt empty. Because when someone says, I love you, but you already know where this is going. We didn't break up that night. We just held each other. Like two people who knew they were about to lose something and couldn't do anything to stop it. After he left, things became quieter. We talked less. Not because we were angry, but because we were scared. Scared that if we talked, we would have to admit the truth. One day I finally said, are we still going in the same direction? He didn't answer immediately, and I already knew the answer. We broke up very gently. No shouting. No blaming. Just two tired people sitting in silence. He said, you deserve someone who can stay. And I said, so do you. After that, life felt strange. Too quiet. I still reached for my phone sometime to tell him something funny. Something small. And then I remembered he was no longer mine to tell. Some nights I still dream about him. About us. About the life we talked about. And when I wake up there is always that heavy feeling in my chest. People think the hardest part is the breakup. It's not. The hardest part is learning to live without someone who used to be your home. So why do people who love each other still can't stay together? Because love is not the only thing a relationship needs. Sometimes timing is wrong. Sometimes life is cruel. Sometimes two people meet at the right time to fall in love, but not at the right time to stay. He was not a bad person. And neither was I. We just couldn't carry the same dream anymore. I don't hate him. I don't regret loving him. Because he taught me what it feels like to be truly understood. And maybe some people are not meant to stay forever. They are meant to change us. Some loves are not forever loves. They are growing loves. And even now, somewhere in this world, he is living his life. And I am living mine. Sometimes I still wonder what would have happened if life had been kinder. But then I remember we didn't fail. We just reached the end of our chapter. And even though it still hurts, I am grateful. Because for a while, he was my home. And I think that's enough. And maybe that's how some stories are meant to end. Not with anger. Not with regret. But with a quiet kind of acceptance. Thank you for spending these quiet moments with Sera's voice. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of someone, or of a part of your life you never really forgot, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Sera's voice. It really helps this small channel grow and continue telling stories for lonely nights. And if you want to leave a little message, please comment Mrs. Sera below. I read every single one of them. Wherever you are, I hope you're doing okay tonight. This is Sera's voice. Good night. And take care of your heart.